Welcome back to part 2. We'll look around for any of these.
When people unite, empires fall.
Want to find all these because they give you experience points.
Why such a crowd?
The circus has come to town.
These are troubled times. Brothers turn against brothers. Russia has had enough bloodshed. The violence must stop. When socialists attempt to divide Russia and her subject nations, to dent the sword that smote the enemy at Grunwald, this demands my decisive action. Thus, by my grace, I hereby appoint as Governor General of Warsaw, Georgi Antonovich Skowon.
A butcher.
Not a popular guy, I presume.
I see you ain't from here. That swine keeps a photo album of all the folks he's had shot at the Citadel.
Before and after execution.
Well, so, the time for leniency and indulgence is over. From the moment this office is bestowed on me, no forces hostile to the subjects of Greater Russia will have any further right to exist. None! Whether it be brutal socialist subversives, communists, Jews, or other satanic provocators.
He sure knows how to unite a crowd.
Pardon me, are you Polish?
Yes, I feel Polish. My
I
name
feel
is Victor.
Polish.
Wanda.
This is Russia here. Like it or not. Warszawa. Время террора закончилось. Иди нахуй! My first decision as Governor General of Warsaw. Arrestovать.
Great heroes in their sense of timing. Of course, now they're the first ones in the fight.
Samoobladanie, Poliaki. We want that rebel. The Landman.
Damn.
What happened?
Be a gentleman. Please kneel and tie my shoe.
That seems more like a job for the servants, young lady.
Go ahead. Look down. Can I ask you a tiny favor? The Russians can't find out about this. The military is just looking for an excuse to suppress the crowd, and these workers are dreaming of thrashing a Russian gendarme.
Either one of you confesses to disturbing the peace, or всех забирай. We'll take you all in.
You can't handle all of us.
Can you get us out of here?
I think I'm open to any kind of suggestion.
With a book like that, I'd find out what would convince one of these bastards to let us go. Or I'd take on that self-appointed leader of the proletariat.
Interesting strategy. For instance, I could disclose to a soldier that you came here with ammunition under your skirt.
Maybe we should see who they believe. A respected lady of Warsaw, or a common magician who just 100 years ago would have been burned at the stake.
Well, since you asked so nicely. Who are you, really?
A damsel in distress.
Those don't usually hide ammunition in their stockings.
Can I explain it to you another time?
I'm going to take a look around.
So it looks like the choices are either fight them or join him. Or join him to fight them. Or to try to talk them out of doing anything. Let me go ahead and upgrade this last one. Lucky chance. I'd say I need lucky chance.
Do you think it's a good idea to stir people up and send them to face bullets and bayonets?
What do you want then? My whole life on my knees? Kissing Ruski's ass?
I was trying to keep from dragging ordinary people into the fight. They won't expect us to strike first. How many are coming with us?
Let's see for ourselves.
Reinforcements are on the way. 41. He's the first person to strike. That delays his strike. That's my partner. And then him. Oh. Oh. Delay his strike.
them!
Name?
Shulski. Victor.
One of those Shulskis?
Yes.
My condolences. Now, profile.
Thank you.
What you pissing in the bucket for, asshole?
Where else am I supposed to?
Brown in the bucket, whiz on the wall.
You better remember that, too. That bucket's gonna last you guys till tomorrow.
Can I use the phone?
What are you staring at, Ganeth?
I don't know what that means.
Quit squealing. First time in the big city? Have some respect if you don't know who you're running your mouth at. He's one of them that went after the Ruskies with his bare fist.
I showed a couple of Russian soldiers when I think about the petitions.
I have moments like that sometimes.
And I gave it to some Ruskies in the kisser, too. There's this red-bearded fella sitting there. I glassed him in the face, then kicked him in the bean, and wham! On the floor. And I pinched his billfold, too.
Did anybody ask you? Shut your damn trap. Well, are you from somebody?
First of all, I am a Thuamaturge.
Now them, I got respect for. I know one really decent Jew from Povishla, who's a wizard too.
How about you? You got a foreskin or what?
Is my foreskin any of your fucking business?
Well, no. I was just...
Schmuck. But you don't look like much of a Warsaw lad.
You should not judge a book by its cover.
A tough guy, like a real Warsaw lad.
I was born here. Now I've come home.
Welcome to Warsaw.
Can't do that.
I wouldn't call you a master strategist.
You got away from the station, so theoretically, we achieved our goal.
You're not losing your sense of humor. I guess this isn't your first time in a place like this, is it?
You'd better tell me if you managed to get rid of your ammunition.
If I hadn't, I'd already be locked up at the Citadel. I admit your behavior did successfully distract the Ruskies.
You're welcome.
All right then. What's such a gorgeous, hairy mug doing in a crummy place like this?
We've got a little time to kill. Maybe now you can tell me more about yourself. You seem to know your way around this setting. You been here often?
I'll take that as a compliment. And sure, sometimes, if the cause demands it.
What cause?
Let's say I know certain folks who'd find poles like you useful.
Dealers in stolen Dutch pomade?
Donut connoisseurs. They met at Burke Rotblitz's cafe.
What exactly do your friends do?
I'd be glad to tell you, over coffee and jam donuts.
I'm afraid all of these crews might have more questions and want to keep you here longer.
Then you won't just miss out on the pastries, but also an adventure worthy of a great cause.
Shulsky!
I see you won't be hanging out here long either.
Shulsky, this yours?
That's right.
Then take it and get out of here.
Thank you.
Look around a little bit more out here and make sure there's no other little diamonds to read.
I'm sure you don't remember me. My name's Hayat, Mordecai Hayat. I wanted to offer my condolences.
Thank you.
Please, forgive my prying. I know Mr. Shulsky took nitroglycerin for his heart, but how did he pass away? Was that his cause of death? His heart?
I'm curious myself. I haven't had a chance to find out.
Yes, I understand. My condolences, once again. I'll leave you alone. I'm sure you want to bid farewell to your father.
I think I ought to arrest you, Thuamaturge.
I haven't done anything, officer. What's the problem?
I barely recognize you either. You still haven't figured out who I am? Don't be surprised. The last time we saw one another was 20 kilos ago.
Uncle Voronian?
I will not keep you. That guy's probably all alone back there, among those vultures circling Stasio. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you. Go on. We'll talk later.
Sister?
Victor. I'm so glad you came. I wasn't sure if my telegram had reached you.
I'm glad too. How are you holding up?
All this caught me off guard, but... For now, I don't have time to think things through calmly. Look at yourself. What happened?
I took a short trip to a Warsaw jail.
What? Are you joking? During the funeral? Are you alright?
Everything's fine, don't worry. Have you written to Mother?
Yes, but... what can you expect? You know what Nadia is like. It was never her style to show up for family events like this. It's getting late. And we've still got the reading of Papa's will ahead of us at home. And I'll leave you two alone. I suppose you've got your own matters to clear up.
Fine, let's get this over with. So, it was me who got it right in the end. Back then, on the train platform, was the last time we saw one another. 15 years ago. After brief suffering, fell asleep in the Lord. Brief? I hope not. Did you write this yourself? A tyrant, bigot, and liar, mistakenly absolved, died after suffering, all too briefly. That's better. And definitely closer to the truth. The day you died, you visited me in my dreams. I was a child when you hounded me out of here, and I remember you as you were back then. But in my dream you looked older. You gave me hell as usual. You didn't believe I'd succeed. You were wrong. I've come back with 2 Salutors. I'm sorry there are so many things I didn't get to say to your face. All those years, I said them over and over to myself in my head. How you were never able to admit a mistake. You never sought blame in yourself. Someone else was always guilty, never you. Mother, because she wanted something for herself in life. Ligia, because she wasn't born a boy. Me, because I was born a Thuamaturge, but I didn't want to live following your principles. And now... Farewell, Father.
Am I intruding?
I was reflecting at the grave of my beloved father.
You tricked me. I heard something else. Stanisław and I were acquainted. You might say I knew everything about your father. Mr. Victor Szulski, isn't it? Your absence from Warsaw has happily come to an end, I hope.
I haven't had time to think about it.
I understand. I hope you'll find some reason to stay here a little longer. Again, my condolences.
I didn't catch your name.
My name's Kanichkin. Ivan Kanichkin. Goodbye.
Such interesting friends you had. I guess I'm more tired than I thought. Great-grandmother Josefina, a Thuamaturge. Grandpa Nikodem, a Thuamaturge. I barely remember him. We can go. The hardest thing was getting the lid of the urn. The scattering I could handle.
You can play the clown, but I know how much this has cost you. I'm glad you went.
Love at a funeral? Eros post-mortem? Is it suitable for a young lady in mourning to fraternize with bachelors? Konstancja Shabowska, the Warsaw Courier. Could I ask for a brief comment?
Hyena.
Thank you. And you, sir?
We're twins, my dear lady.
The Shulskis reunited. You don't look like a horrid cripple. Why did you leave Warsaw so quickly?
Don't tell her anything. She'll write whatever she wants anyway. And we'd better get going.
I suggest you leave. Otherwise, I'll overlook your womanhood and make sure you can never pronounce a single syllable correctly again.
You'd permit that to happen, Judge? Maybe I should write about this.
And who would let you print it?
Someday the press will get the Russian boot off its neck, Judge.
I'm afraid none of us will live to see the day, my dear. Come on, children. I'm sure my Petya is already waiting for us at home.
I'd love to see my cousin.
Are you coming with us?
Thanks.
Get in. I'm sure the lawyer is already waiting for us.
Miss, your guests have arrived. The lawyer's upstairs too, waiting. A trifle jittery. Wonder if the tea I made him was too strong.
Thank you, Grażyna, dear. Let the guests wait. First, I want to take care of the will.
I'll just wet my whistle and join you all upstairs.
Make sure Uncle makes it upstairs sober. And I'll suggest you don't dawdle either.
Master Victor, good God! Half your face covered, but I could tell right away it was you. You look just like your father in his youth. Completely his spitting image. Should I make you some cocoa, Master? It would warm you up a little.
No need to fuss, Grażynka. I'm used to worse chills than this.
It's lovely to see you again. But that's enough jabber for now. I've got the guests and the cocoa, and I've got to whip up some food for you all later. We'll talk soon.
I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. I already failed to recognize someone once today, but you look familiar.
Well, I should think so. I was the victim of one of your starling hunts. Voronins must not be very memorable, cousin.
Petya! Forgive me, and for shooting you as well. How are you doing?
Just some heart problems, not a subject for today. I'm sorry about Uncle Stanislav. Forgive me for not coming to the funeral. I can't bear cemeteries.
We'll have to meet up again.
Goodbye.
I'm glad you're here. I thought I'd have to drink alone.
So many goodies laid out for the guests. Having trouble picking something for yourself, Judge?
But this was Stashio's. It was special. Amber liqueur with quinces.
I think you mean quince liqueur with amber, right? If it's not here, I'm sure it's in the basement. But I won't grope around down there in the dark now. I've got my hands full.
Now, I don't want to trouble you either. Victor, could you track down a little bottle for your uncle?
I suppose I'm obligated to accept this mission.
Good lad. A nephew like you is a treasure.
Okay, they take 2 points from here on, or at least right there. That must be the basement.
How did it go? Mission accomplished?
I think this is the one Uncle wanted.
Yes. This is our little funeral battle. We would meet in Stasha's study after every funeral we went to, and raise a toast to the dead. And recently, we've been seeing one another more and more at such events. More and more. But this time, even he has left me. So, to an easy death, as Stasha and I used to say.
How did he die?
Hasn't Lygia told you?
I haven't even had the chance to ask.
He didn't suffer, but such images in the memory are better saved for later. I'd prefer to remember him as he was alive. What then? Am I drinking alone?
May the ground be soft, Father. I'm not betting there's an afterlife.
Well, obligation fulfilled. Shall we get to the reading of the will?
You'll all have to wait for me a moment yet.
All right, but hurry up.
am ready, Mr. Shulsky. I only need all of you to be present. Can we start reading your father's will?
Yes, let his will be done. Again.
Let's begin if everyone is ready. Would you all please take a seat? Ladies and gentlemen, by the power of my office vested in me by the grace of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of all Russia, I hereby testify. Mr. Shulsky's last will and testament were prepared several years ago in the presence of Zaslav Fedorov, Esquire, that is, myself. My last will and testament recorded in the year of our Lord 1888. In the name of the Holy Trinity. Amen.
Excuse me, but could we get to the details?
Victor.
I think we all want to address more temporal matters, don't we?
In theory...
Would you be so kind?
Of course. Here we are. All movables and immovables relating to the family enterprise I entrust to the care and administration of my daughter. I do not prescribe a method of administering them. I merely offer her one piece of advice. To my brother-in-law and oldest friend, Alexander Voronin, I wish to leave the following. My collection of muskets and 2 revolvers, dating to the uprising in memory of our first meeting.
Stasio, I will have plenty to do in my retirement.
Enjoy your retirement.
I would also like to come to the aid of my only son, Viktor Shulsky, by entrusting him with the use of my personal black grimoire, in the hope that he will be able to make good use of it. This is my last will and testament. Carry it out solemnly, though you may have found it burdensome. However, this last bequest poses a certain problem.
Yes, it certainly does. And what is that, may I ask?
I am not in possession of this grimoire. The late Mr. Shulsky used it up until his death, yet no one left it with me after his passing.
Meaning it's disappeared? Did Father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
It was only because of the grimoire that we could identify him at all.
What actually happened? How did he die?
A building collapsed on top of him. I don't know any other way of putting it.
Where did it happen? Where was this building?
The southern part of Śródmieście, not far from the police station. Anyway, you can miss it.
Of all the possibilities, this was the death that fate prepared for him.
He died as he lived, miserably. He couldn't have met a more fitting end after what he did to me. What he did to the Niedzic's family.
You've got to know that Papa felt guilty. Even if he didn't say so outright. I'm not going to defend him, but I can't criticize him either. Even I don't know what really happened back then with Aborice.
An accident is what happened, and Father treated 2 kids like the worst disgraces in the world. As if it had been premeditated.
When a person dies so suddenly, their unfinished business remains. We'll never learn what Stasio carried in his heart.
What do you intend to do?
I think we have to look for the answer in the place where it happened.
With your sight, you can make out more in those ruins than I, or Uncle, or Detective could. This is a good lead, but is it the only one?
Father evidently knew a certain Ivan Konieczkin. Have you heard anything about him?
Konieczkin? No, doesn't ring a bell.
All sorts of people came to Papa's store. That doesn't mean every one of them might know something about the grimoire.
That's true. You've got your work cut out for you.
And Mordechai Chayat. Could that be a lead?
I don't think so. He worked with Father, but he left more than a year ago. I don't know why. He was an assistant at our, well, my store.
Do you know where I might find him?
Sadly, no.
Do you have any other ideas?
And where are Father's things at the moment?
You're standing at the very center of his kingdom. Not everything has been sorted through yet, but you go right ahead.
And the store? I should check that too.
I've started stock-taking there to distract myself, and I don't want you to go in there before I've finished.
As you wish. Now at least I can see how little I know. Maybe these scraps of information will lead me somewhere.
Well, now that we know what's got to be figured out, forgive me, my darlings. I'm going to give my old bones a rest.
I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Uncle. And, Ligia. I'm sorry it happened this way. That I wasn't close by.
The most important thing is you're here now.